Okay. It was the summer of 2003. I was 10 years old. It was a sunny morning, and I just woke up at my grandpa's house, who lives in Idaho. And I got up and got ready with the intentions of going horseback riding like I did every summer. And my grandpa came and knocked on my door, and he asked me if I wanted to go fishing with him. It would be the first fishing trip of the summer, and I only had a week left before I had to go back home. So, of course, I said yes. And he asked me if I wanted my two little cousins to go. I looked at him like he was crazy. No, I didn't want my two annoying little cousins to go with us. This was our fishing trip. So he said okay. I started getting ready, and he packed the car with the fishing stuff. So a few minutes later, we're ready to go, and he asked me if I wanted to go to Snake River or Lucky Peak Lake, because in Idaho, those are the only two places really to go fishing. So we decided to go to Lucky Peak Lake because that's where we always went, and we had our own secret spot, which wasn't really a secret spot because there's always 30 or 40 other people there. And so it was about an hour drive, and halfway there we went to a gas station where we bought soda, chips, candy, and the gas stations there, they sell little cans of worms. I don't know if they do that here or not, but so we bought two of those too. And we got back in the car, and we had a 30-minute drive. And we get there, and he asked me if I wanted to go to the usual spot. And for some reason I said no, I wanted to go to a new spot. So at Lucky Peak Lake, you drive around the outskirts of the lake until you find whatever spot you want to go to. So we drove for a few minutes, and we decided to go to this one spot where there's a ton of parking. So we got out and we looked around, and you had to walk down like 40 stairs, and there was 5 docks. They were all connected by chains, and then the chains were connected to the rocks on the shore. So we decided to go there. So we got out of the car, we unpacked the stuff, and we managed to carry everything in one trip. And I'm looking around, and I'm noticing there's no one else here, which is kind of weird because there's always a ton of people here. But whatever, more room for us. So he starts unloading the fishing poles and everything, and he asked me if I wanted to bait the hooks. Of course not. I don't touch the worms, I just catch the fish. So I'm looking around, and it's beautiful weather. It's sunny, but there's a constant breeze, so it's not too hot. And we get the fishing poles, the lines in the water and everything, and 30 minutes later, there's still no fish. An hour later, no fish. I'm getting bored. I'm loaded up on Mountain Dew and candy. I'm hyper. So I start wandering around, and the wind is making the water really rough, and it's moving the docks, and since they're connected by chains, they separate a little bit, and then they pull right back together. So my grandpa's telling me to be careful and like don't fall in the water or anything, and of course I ignore him. I'm fine. So I'm walking around, and a few minutes later I decide to come back, and as I'm coming back, a really big wind blows, and it moves the water, and it separates the two docks, and of course my leg falls right between the two docks, and the docks push back together, and it's right at my knee, and I'm stuck. I start screaming for help, and my grandpa runs over the fastest I've ever seen him move, and he jumps to the floor, and he's trying to pull the two docks apart, which isn't working. I'm screaming for help, but there's no one there to help besides my grandpa, and I'm thinking my leg's gonna break. I don't know what's gonna happen. So I'm freaking out, and about a minute later, luckily the wind blows, and it moves the docks apart again, and I'm able to pull my leg out. And I wasn't broken. There's bruising and everything, and my grandpa still telling me to go to the doctor, but I was fine. So we gathered all the stuff, and lucky me, I had to walk back up the 40 stairs to the car. And we go home, and I ice it, and I just rest, and I enjoy the rest of my trip. And it seemed like just a minor incident, but to this day I still have knee problems, and I have to wear a knee brace most of the time, and I have to take medication, and the doctors don't know what's wrong with it. So a simple incident that occurred that day still affects me 9 years later. So that's my story.